Actually, I want to tell you a story. So maybe we'll start there. But let's start here. So Dr. Carter went home and told you to get rested, and I just want you to know you all look fabulous, right? Well rested. Now you're supposed to say.
Your hair looks great.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. So I might be a little bit early for this talk, but if you had your power over the last 4 or 5 days, you know we've had Black Friday, pre-Black Friday, we've had Small Business Saturday, I think today's Cyber Monday, so it's kind of hard to get away from this. And so I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to start with a hook, and you're going to figure out the thesis as quickly as you can while I'm in the middle of the hook. There was a teacher here for a couple of decades. You don't know him. His name is Dudley Cotton. He's retired. He lives in Massachusetts, living a wonderful life, and he was a deeply beloved teacher here for at least 2 decades. And I could talk a little bit about Dudley and why he was so admired because of his coaching, but I really want to talk about a course that he taught, a year-long course on philosophy. And it actually was the precursor, if you will, to the current SUSH course. And it was a kind of course that was always oversubscribed. Kids kind of fought to get into it year after year. And I think what they were enchanted about this course was, even though it was a philosophy course, it was really a course about the human spirit, the human soul, if you will. And every spring, inevitably, and I use this word intentionally, inevitably they would have a discussion in philosophy class on the concept of altruism. And altruism, if you don't know, is defined very simply as an unselfish concern or devotion for the welfare of others. And they discussed in this class, one, if altruism exists, and then 2, is this a concept that is nature or nurture? In other words, are we born with altruism or do we learn it? And the reason I bring this story up is because a cohort of those kids would walk out of Mr. Cotton's class and they would come next door for almost 20 years and they would walk into my elective on the Holocaust. And of course, they always asked me, inevitably, Mr. Berk, what do you think about altruism? Do you think it exists? Where do you think it comes from? And so here's what I said to them. I said to them, I think what the Holocaust teaches us is that there's a spark of altruism in each of us. And here's my best example. The parents will do anything for their children. My other example of the spark of altruism is that perhaps I think all of us, if we saw an injured animal, a dog on the side of the road, we wouldn't think about the consequences, we would just go help that animal. But I think the other thing that I know is that altruism really is predominantly a learned behavior. So you guys are here exercising your brains. You're here in athletics exercising your muscle. And I think that altruism needs the same kind of exercise. So here we are, holiday season. Your parents are already deeply into trying to figure out what to get you for the holidays. So I would make this suggestion to you in terms of altruism, to develop this muscle. If you don't already have this custom, consider it. You go home to mom and dad today and you say, you know what, 1 or 2 of my presents I want to give to something else, right? You don't have to buy me something. Instead, I want to give it to someone. And by coincidence, you may or may not know, tomorrow is Giving Tuesday across the nation. So I think there are 2 ways to give up that present. I think one, you can give to charities that need help, right? So that could be your local food pantry. I watched a show last night on the World Food Program. Feeds 70 million people a year through donations. Maybe you want to do that. Or maybe you want to exercise this muscle by giving to people opportunities to them so they can help themselves. So I think of Habitat for Humanity, right? We go on those trips. These people build their own homes, but they need resources. Or I think closer to home, think about breakthrough. Most of you know about breakthrough, and you hear this again and again. Like, we have this privilege of being here, and I would get tired of hearing that if I was a teenager, but we have this privilege of being here. And breakthrough is about creating an opportunity for people who maybe don't have the same means to be that privilege. So perhaps that's how you're going to exercise over the next couple of days. So when you go home tonight, here's I know what's going to happen. Mom and Dad is going to say, "How was your day, honey?" And you're going to say, "My day was pretty good. I saw some friends, I laughed a couple of times, and Mr. Berk told me to give away my presents," right? Or you can do it this way. You go home tonight and Mom and Dad say to you, "Hi, honey, how was your day?" And you say, "I had a really good day. I saw some friends, I laughed a little bit, and Mr. Berk showed me how I can exercise my soul. Thank you."